What's up guys, English Dan, back at you, another video. These are going to be, what I would say these are probably the best wireless earbuds under $50 right now. What am I talking about? It's a product by Blitzwolf. I was sent these via Banggood, links down in the description. These are the new BW, which stands for Blitzwolf FYE8. They look a bit funky, but wait till I tell you how they sound. Alright, welcome back guys. So yeah, I got these Blitzwolves and I didn't know what to expect out of them. They're a dual driver Bluetooth headphone or earbud, and they have a list of specs that on paper are just fantastic. So let me go through a couple of those with you. Now these are Bluetooth 5.0, which is great at this price range. They use the Qualcomm 3020 chip as well for your noise cancelling, things like that. Really impressive. And like I said, they are a dual dynamic driver inside these things, which really does help. They do have the graphene as well. The graphene diaphragm, if you don't know, it helps produce a more boomy sound, a more deeper bass. You get a higher quality out of a graphene driver. A lot of companies have started using the graphene drivers now in their headphones to get a far better sound for a lot lower cost. They do sound pretty good, but I'll get back onto that in a minute. A little bit more about these headphones. So they also work independent from each other, left and right, which is great. Some of the high end, like the Jabra 75 Ts, they don't. They have a slave system set up still. These are independent, the left and right work away from each other. They also have touch control, so no niggly buttons where you're having to push them into your ears or anything like that. They do have touch sensitive controls on them, and they're also IPX5 water resistant. So you can work out in these, sweat, maybe a brief rainy shower outside, you're going to be good. I wouldn't submerge yourself in water with these because obviously that's not what they're meant for, but for working out and things like that and just everyday use, these are going to be fine with IPX5. So yeah, that's a pretty damn good spec sheet right there. Like we're saying, they use the Bluetooth 5.0 and it's the Qualcomm 3020 chip. So what that does, it gives you low power consumption that gives you better battery life on these things. A lot of the cheaper earbuds tend to not use this. They use cheaper chipsets basically, and you don't get as long a battery life. You've seen them all. We've all seen them. They last for an hour or two, and then you've got to put them back in the charging case, and they take 12 hours to charge up. Maybe I'm exaggerating at the 12s, but this isn't them. So they might be priced like them, but this isn't them. Let me tell you, I can assure you, they're really not. So let me talk about the touch sensitive controls. So what they are on these, it's classed as a multi-touch key. So you push it once, well, don't push, but tap on it once, that's your play pause. Double touch on the right earbud will make you go to the next song. If you want to reject a phone call, you just double touch any of them. If you want to go to a previous song, double touch the left. If you want to answer a call, touch any of them once. And if you want to wake up Siri, just triple touch either one of them. Simple, easy controls. Fantastic in a pair of earbuds costing around 40 bucks. You don't get that very often. The only one of the ones I've seen is a company by Orkey that did them. But yeah, they work really well on this. They're not too sensitive, but they're also not something where you've got to keep slapping the side of your head to make them work. Because trust me, I've had them like that and it's annoying. These work fine. They're very good on that. So let's talk about the battery on these things as well. So playback time on these is up to 5 hours. I'm getting about 4.5, 4 3/4, but I've been listening to them really loud, high bass, things like that, listening to the music style that I like. But I suppose if you lowered your volume down, you will get the 5 hours out of them. Call time, you get about 4 hours of just call time out of them, which is really good as well. Standby time, 400 hours. Really, these just sat somewhere, they're going to be all right for, a while. And then playback time with the charging box. So you get the charging box with it. It's made of metal, got the plastic flip lids, got some lights on there to let you know exactly where you're up to when it comes to battery life. With the box, you get up to 18 hours altogether. So it's good for 3 charges, basically. So not bad at all. Not the best, but not bad. Considering the price, quite impressed. How long does it take to charge these things? between an hour and 2 hours. That'll get you fully charged on the earbuds. The box takes around 2 hours as well, the actual carry case. So, yeah, you know, you leave them on charge overnight, you got no problem. You're going to have plenty of battery life for the next day, and the day after, and the day after, and probably the day after that as well, depending on your usage. You know, if you're only using them as a casual use when you're on the bus, train, something like that, then, you know, they're probably going to last you a lot longer than that. Now, one of the big things with wireless earbuds for me is comfort. Now, while these can look a little odd at times because of the design and the way they've done it, and I'll get onto that in a little bit more shortly, but they sort of stick out your ears 45 degrees, and I'll show you what I mean. But once they're in your ears, they are very comfortable. They're very lightweight. They don't give me any ear fatigue whatsoever, and they're just nice. You know, it's not something that you're going to be sat there thinking, "Oh, these are aching. I'm going to have to take them out after a little while." They fit me perfectly. They come with a really good quality ear tip in this. The Creative Outlier came with some terrible low quality ear tips, not even good size ones either, and missed out large altogether. Blitzwolf have really put a good quality silicone ear tip with these, and they fit and seal my ears great. And that's really important when you're using true wireless earbuds. I say it every time, and I'll never stop saying it. Make sure when you get your earbuds, you get the correct fit for the silicone tips. That is going to make a world of difference to you when you're listening to your music. And it's also going to cancel out a lot of the background noise that people try to not want to hear when they've got these things in. So yeah, seal is key. Ear tip, correct ear tip is the way to go. So don't forget. So there's 3 ways you can use these as well. There's the single pairing mode. So if you only want to use one, you can use that. Just use the one, leave the other in the box. It's obviously going to help with battery life as well. And, you know, a lot of people at work use them that way. So you can use the single one. Second is what they call it the binaural or twin pairing, or supports bilateral calls. Basically both at once. And you get the sound in both when taking a call. So, yeah, just usual standard fare. And the third mode is what they call music sharing. Maybe it's a bit of a cheat. Basically, you pair them both and you give your partner the other one. That's a feature. No, I'm not kidding. That's a feature. Anyway, so real simple to use these things. When you get them, you open the case. They instantly power on. When you had enough, you take them out, put them in the box, close the lid, they instantly power off. So you don't have to worry about having to press buttons to power them off or anything like that, or power them on when you want to use these. So yeah, nice and simple for use. They come with high quality audio, as they call it. Basically, they support AptX, AAC, and SBC. Great at $40. AptX on an Android device makes something sound that much better. Again, gives you a stable connection and just higher quality bitrate comes through to your earbuds. So when it comes to the sound with these, I was impressed. Really was impressed. The bass on these is punchy, but it doesn't distort. They're very loud. The bass, if you can control your graphic equalizer, won't roll over into the mids or the vocals. If you don't have a graphic equalizer, you might have an issue with that if you want something heavy bass but you still want it to be able to control the mid-range. You may have an issue there, and the highs are very high, but they're not scratchy or anything like that. But I do have to bring them down a little bit. But I do have to do that on most true wireless earbuds that I listen to. There's only been a very couple where I've not had to do that, and maybe one pair where I've had to boost them up. So overall, the sound on these is exceptional. I've listened to the bass tester that I use on my playlist is Boasty by Wiley. Passes, no problem. It can handle these. And country music, you can hear the guitars playing, the voices come through super clear, things like that. Rock music, again, all the highs come through, the drums, everything sounds great. I'm really, really impressed with these. These could be the best sounding earbuds under $50. What I will say is, though, you've got to let them break in a little bit. When you first listen to them, you might think they sound, how can I say this? They sound tight, and they are. You've got to let them loosen up. 12 hours, 15 hours of use, you'll find that they sound a lot better than what they did when you first get them. So give them a chance. If you've just put them in your ears and you think, that's a bit, just give them a chance once they've burnt in. Same with any headphone, really. Once they've burnt in a little bit, they'll sound a lot better than what they did when you pulled them out of the box. And these are no exception. They really do have a really good quality sound. Now let's talk about that Bluetooth. Bluetooth 5.0. These have a really stable connection. I can walk to the other end of my house no problem. Now if I go into the bedroom and that leaves 1, 2 walls and a refrigerator, the refrigerator is going to cause some problems because it can interfere with Bluetooth. So I can get some coughing and spluttering then. But in a direct line through my house, no problem whatsoever. If I go this way, I've got 1 wall that leads to my backyard and it can penetrate that no problem. I can leave my phone in the house and be under my porch kind of thing and not have an issue with listening to my music, and I can control it through the actual touch panel. So really good. Very happy. At the price, these do have some really good connectivity. Calls actually come through really clear. They're the CVC 8.0, so they work with noise cancelling on the outside, so people can hear you, and they also make you sound pretty good. And they're not bad when it comes to calls. I say it all the time. I don't tend to use my audio for phone calls because I'm not blown away by any of them. I always switch it over to my phone. But as far as these go, they are pretty good. So nice and clear. People can tell I'm on earbuds, but they can also hear me, and they say that it cuts out a lot of the noise in the background. They're okay, just like any other headphone. One negative on these is their micro USB. It's 2020 now. A lot of companies are going over to USB-C. Sadly, these don't. They do go micro USB, so that is a negative for me. The only other thing that I would say is a negative for me is on the actual looks of these things. They're very glossy black, and then they have the transparent part at the front that shows you the drivers, where they're going to go into your ears. The transparent part isn't the issue really, because once they're in your ears you can't see them, but I do believe that they would have been much better if they'd have gone with a matte black instead of a gloss black. The gloss on them makes them look really plastic, unfortunately. So if that's something that's going to bother you, you can see fingerprints and smudge marks on them sometimes, or they just look like glossy plastic. If that's going to bother you, that is probably going to put you off these from a aesthetic point of view. But if you're not bothered about the aesthetics of them, or that's not going to bother you, or you like the glossy colour, because that's just my opinion, that's how I feel about it. I like the matte blacks so they don't bedazzle everywhere. But if you like the glossy blacks, these are going to be for you. They're not big, they don't stick out very far, they do look really good. One, you got them in, as long as you like glossy black. I've got people at work who have said to me, yeah, they look good. And I've had people say to me, wish they weren't quite so shiny. So it's personal preference. So yeah, that case, like I told you before, that case is made out of metal. The earbuds just sit inside the case. So it's not exactly the smallest case. It's not so heavy, but it's not the smallest. It has a plastic lid on there, and then you've got the lights on the front that light up to let you know what the charge is. It's decent, you know what I mean? It's pocketable, but it's bulky. It probably could have been a little slimmer, and it's because instead of lying the AirPods down, or the AirPods, get that apple out of your mouth. Because the earbuds stand up, that's how they go in here, they stand. But yeah, I mean, I'll show you what they're like when they're in as well, but they're a decent size. They've got a long stem on them and they are quite thick. But yeah, the case that these go in is kind of big, but it's because they stand them up. So what do they look like when they're in? Well, this is how they look when they're in. And they're playing music. But yeah, as I say, they go on like a 45-degree angle in your ear, but they're very, very comfortable, and they're blocking a lot of the sound out. I'm very muffled through my voice right now. When I'm talking to you, I feel like I've got a bad cold. It's not a virus. Chill out, people. Yeah, very comfortable. And this is how they look. Like I say, I'm not big on the glossy colour, but they're $40. They look great for that. If they were matte black, even better. But yeah, very comfortable. Not too... they're not going to make people look at you like, what's he wearing? Alien. So what are my final thoughts? What is my opinion on these? My opinion on these is at $40, these are probably the best under $50 true wireless earbuds you can get for sound quality. They sound great. They have everything that you need apart from micro USB. And you might not even need that, might not be a problem to you. Obviously, I'm a bit of a tech head and like my audio, so I like one cable for all. But, you know, it's one of those things. It might not be an issue for you. Hopefully it wouldn't be. I wouldn't let it put you off buying them anyway. I wouldn't class that as your main priority for purchase. Main priority for purchase for me is the sound quality, and these do sound really good. Like I said, they've got really good bass. It can go into the mids if you can't control it independently, but if you can control it independently with the graphic equalizer like you get on an Android phone, you can solve that, no problem. The sound separation is really good, and the soundstage is actually surprisingly good as well. I am really, really impressed with these at this money. They're not as good as like the Liberty 2 Air, but then again, the Liberty 2 Air are over twice the price of these. But they are better than the Orkeys, the T21 I think they were called, that were $30. They're more comfortable and they've got more bass than them. Decent battery life, they support AptX, they support AAC, so regardless of whether you're using an iPhone or an Android, they sound really good. So yeah, definite 2 thumbs up from English Down. Links are down there. Let me know if you've got them. Let me know if you've been looking forward to getting these. Let me know if you're going to go and get them. I want to hear all about it, especially if you've got them. I'd like to know what you think of the sound. I am impressed. Twin driver, sound good. Anyway, alright guys, I will see you in the next one. Peace.